And the parents. No,
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, yo. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. We've been MIA, but we back today.
Hey y'all, we back. We back. I'm visiting.
What's going on? I'm Sharita C.W. Dela Cruz, and this is the MiddlePage Podcast powered by Blast Music 24/7, Esoterica Entertainment, and you. We've got Sunshine in the house, Crazy Carla from Crazy Carla's Concoctions, and V in full effect. I'm so happy to be here tonight. I needed this. It's like a break.
Oh, good.
Life has been lifing. Like I done changed jobs, and then the job is trying to take me by my neck, and then they didn't change me to a new store. It's just, and my granddaughter had an emergency appendectomy last Thursday, and in 2 birthdays, I got 3 Taurus babies. Out of my 4 granddaughters, I got 3 Tauruses. And so, yeah, things have just been really, really out of this world. Look at Carla. She said, let's back it up to the emergency appendectomy.
Girl, I'm just sitting here like, what did you say?
Yeah, she had her appendix removed. She was complaining of stomach pains out of the blue last Wednesday. And lo and behold, she had to have it gone.
Oh, my God.
And she's a trooper, though. After the surgery, she ain't taking up a Tylenol. I said, all right, you got the bloodline, for real.
She got it.
Yeah, she's doing okay. Her name is Sapphire. Just keep her in your prayers. She'll be back in school on Friday.
I certainly will. Yeah.
Yes.
It is, isn't it? It's a joy.
So I brought it to y'all like that to let y'all know what topics tonight, middle age and mental health. And so you see how we all got excited and how we were all, and all our emotions were all over the place. When you're middle age and you dealing with, mind, body, and soul, keeping yourself intact and balanced, sometimes your mental health can be challenged. Some of us have a predisposition for mental illness through genetics, as far as anxiety, things of that nature, all the way up to the, bigger things like sociopathological disorders and schizophrenia or whatever. But the triggers in everyday life, as middle-aged people, we are the demographic that experiences the most action when it comes to emotional ebbs and flows, right? They say at least 90% of us need some help, according to statistics. But we will delve into that tonight. Let's talk about some of the things that I'm just going to give y'all like 2 or 3, so because I know we're just going to go wild with this. 2 or 3 things that will challenge our mental health. That middle-aged people, like we said, we are stuck in the middle between this generation and that generation. So we are dealing with our grandchildren at this point, dealing with our grown children at this point. Some of us still have smaller children or children under 18. Then we're also dealing with our aging parents and dealing with the ideas of loss of life. We're losing relatives, we're losing parents. I know a lot of my friends, over the last 3 years, every time I turn around, a friend of mine was losing a parent, if not both of them. So it's really, really challenging. Heck, we're losing our lives at this point because we're in middle age. People think about 50 is over the hill, but think about the life expectancy. Statistically, of course, we know what God does, but I'm saying statistically, most people live to like their 80s.
Right.
So 50 is not necessarily middle age. 40 is really like the middle age number here.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that. What are some of the things that you guys feel challenged by that make you feel like you want to pull your little hair out?
My job, it's stressful. My job.
What do you do, if you don't mind?
People think because I work from home, I work in customer service on the phone all day, and I do people's insurance. And I don't mean as in sell it. I mean, I'm the person you call when your claims don't pay. I'm the person you call when The doctors call me to find out where their money at, and those things all day long. So y'all know I get cussed out at least 5 times a day, right?
At least.
And I get cussed out in Spanish all day as well because I'm the bilingual person on my team.
Oh my!
So it's such fun. It's such fun, and I'm tired because I've been doing it for almost 30 years, and I'm just kind of burned out from it. You know what I mean?
I can relate.
It's something when you have a young boss who's younger than you that thinks they know more than you, but they don't. They have book smarts, but they don't have no social skills
or no experience, life experience.
That's right.
That part.
Because half of the way that we're all in customer service one way or another. The biggest thing that you bring to customer service is the experience and the balance. And some people can't understand that. They can't think beyond that because they've never had that experience. So I can totally relate to what you're saying. Sunshine, what is the something that you deal with in the everyday life that makes you feel on edge?
Inconsistencies of others.
Ooh.
Example.
Ooh,
well, see, because but nah, for real, it's just y'all know me. I'm very big on what really makes the world go round, and that's accountability and duality, and your word being your bond, and it's like when you put yourself out there, it's not expecting what you put out in return. I just expect you to keep your word. You understand? Like, right. And trust me, don't be so quick to be a yes man or a yes woman. Don't get somebody set up to think that, yes, this is what it is and we gonna be good for this X amount of time. But then every time you turn around, you canceling, you fumbling. Oh, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? And it's messing the flow of what was already discussed. Yes, emergencies happen. But when you get more than one person involved, y'all both can't be that inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just the point that just gets me, is because you really have no control. That free will that we all have, some of us don't freely will some of the things that we say we are, agreeing to uphold, and it is what it is. You also got to know your constituents too. So you got to make sure you don't get yourself back in a situation like that again.
That's right.
So it's always that plan A, B, C, and D. But people say you shouldn't live. That's sort of kind of like survival mode.
Right.
Also a part of mental health, when you constantly feel that you're in survival, you think different, you see things differently, your perspective is very different from someone who's never had to live in that space before. So being hyper vigilant, that's the word. They say that to a degree is a mental illness as well.
It really is, because it really is. I realized I was still trying to live in survival mode maybe about after my grandfather died. After my grandfather, my dad, I feel like I was still in survival mode. And it's like, I gotta stop this or I'm gonna run myself ragged. You have to pace yourself and just kind of like learn how to smooth some things out and put things into categories like, what am I going to care about? What am I going to prioritize? And what's really not going to take that much of my attention away?
Right.
And that's why I oh my gosh, over the years, I used to be one of those people that just really try to address every little thing with every single person.
Right.
No.
I don't even try to do that.
Can't do that. Oh my gosh. And historically, with me being that person, and ladies, I think you can concur. Historically, if you're a certain type of person and then you learn to get a grip on your life because you realize self-preservation is important,
first law
And-
in life is self.
And people be like, "Ooh, she stank. Ooh, she don't pay attention to nobody no more. She don't answer no phone calls. She don't be out. She don't do this." Well, yeah, because I'm right here on this couch. You know, taking some time.
I just want to.
Yes.
I want to. I want alone time sometimes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I'm here with a 4-year-old 5 days a week, sometimes 6, depending upon what my daughter got going on. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out my phone. I'm sorry.
We don't see
It's
what
okay.
you see, Paula.
Yeah.
Just so
Everything
you know.
is. Yeah, you're.
straight
You're
over there.
fine.
Okay.
If it's messing with you, it's just messing with you.
Mhm. So V, representing all the men in the world tonight, what do men get emotional about that might affect their mental health in middle age?
Us.
I mean, I'm surrounded by some beautiful black women. Being in a relationship that is not healthy, and what I mean by that is if that person is pulling on your soul, you allow yourself to stay there, then you are getting what you deserve. And I was blinded to the fact because I let beliefs, I let pressures of family and all this other stuff hold me down for years, and I willingly allowed it until I had some wonderful friends actually talk sense to me and say, if you're not happy, why are you staying? Explain that to me. Make it make sense. And I was like, you're right. And it's funny, just like you said, Sharita, you start to make decisions for yourself and people give you attitude because you now have the a-hole complex. And it's not that. I'm just trying to live for me.
Just trying to live. Just trying not to die.
Exactly.
For real.
So, but I can't blame it all on the opposite sex. I can't blame it on work. I can't blame it on anything but myself, because you have the power to what to allow to do to you.
Right.
And I love what I do, but blast is what I really love to do. And those that know me, as a matter of fact, this month will be 2 years as a YouTube channel.
Wow.
Hey.
So
what's the exact date?
The 28th.
Of May?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
absolutely wonderful.
And when the first year that we started, and I think my friend Lena knew about it, I had COVID and I still was working here because I love what I do. I wouldn't have did that for work. Guaranteed.
Right.
So there's 2 different type of pressures. What you love and you're doing it, and because you have to.
That's right. All the time, yo. I say that.
Joy, you said it.
You preaching all this right now, V.
I'm just saying my pressures are pulled everywhere, but like my job, I got to be there at 6 a.m. and it's about an hour away. So that means you got to wake up an hour and 30 minutes early to be there on time. So I'm just like,
I do not miss being a dialysis technician only because of that. I used to have to be at 4 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, I had 2 small boys that also had to wake up.
Right.
For one babysitter, so that babysitter could get them to the daycare where they could get the bus to get to school.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's how it was. When I was in Greensboro, granted, I had a homegirl that stayed in the complex, so she would just walk around and I would leave out once I got transferred closer. But the money was talking more in Charlotte than it was in Greensboro.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to Charlotte, honest, but I don't miss that. I really don't, because doing that, and then you don't get home until 6:30, and then you gotta cook, and then you gotta
I remember.
Ready to bed, and don't be in class at the same time, because now you gotta squeeze in about 2 hours of online. Yeah, but I will say I do it all again though.
Being an adult is stressful. Being an adult is stressful, but like Troy said, when you love something, you find a way to do it, whether you're sick or not, right? Because I did a whole podcast in here sick as a dog and was in the hospital the next day, and Troy kept saying, "Are you sure you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah." I did, and I fought my way through it. But the next day, but you're not gonna do that for a regular job. Hi, Sophia.
She said,
"Hey, Sophia.
What a topic. This year has been the epitome of life impacting mental health in so many different ways for so many people." Thank you, Ms. Sophia.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, truth be told, middle-aged adults, according to fastcompany.com, form the backbone of society. That's a strong statement.
Wow.
We constitute a large segment of the workforce while having to simultaneously bridge younger and older generations through caregiving-related duties, ensuring success, productivity, health, and well-being through all of these things. So it's like we have this high expectation, but no one really thinks about the fact that we have a lot of things on our plate. Imagine, may I share? Like I just shared about my granddaughter and her emergency surgery. So that's me thinking about my granddaughters, thinking about my daughter, thinking about my 60-hour a week job.
Man.
Then of course, I got to make sure I'm taking my medicine on time, even though I'm mentally focused on what's going on with them, trying to figure out what's going on with them. The birthdays this week, going to work, being to work on time. If I don't go to work, this is the week that is rent week that I'll get paid on, all of these things, right? And then of course, then what do you do? And even with Sunshine, if I may share Sunshine, or I should let you share, but I mean, our good sister just got a job with the state, and her baby got sick, so she's got to figure out how to get her baby to the doctor, be at this mandatory training because she can't miss a day. Right. Still cook dinner, like she said, still navigate the streets of Charlotte in the AM and the PM. Look how she look right now. This is 9:25 at night. She look like ain't nothing happened today, right? And this is the expectation.
Look beautiful, but you know what?
Only because I do one of those, and I think about Jersey. I think about New York. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even though I'm not there, because it's like, okay, if I was back home, would it be any different?
Probably not.
It's a little bit more pressed. I would say that. You know what I mean? It'll be more pressing back home.
Mm-hmm.
It is still, you know what I'm saying? It just be a little bit greater, but it's like, so if I was already doing it, I can handle this. It's frustrating,
right?
And you have no control. You can't control it. So, it's just, okay, let me take this in, and if I gotta vent, I can vent to a buddy. If I don't have nobody to vent to, then I got other ways to vent. I can just stand outside and curse up at the sky or whatever. Whatever works, whatever helps you get it off you is just as long as you don't let it stay there, because that's what feeds and what festers and it grows. So Sharita, knowing me experiencing just losing my father, she was on me. Veep was on me, D-Ray was on me, you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying people, because, people will say, oh, the people I didn't expect, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, everybody was like growing through their own things. So I already had it set in my head, like, if it didn't, or if I didn't receive that, it would be okay, because I already knew everybody was already juggling their own mess, like you said. Life was life and for everybody.
All the time.
Everybody was trying to force through the shift, and you couldn't, because it was one of those shifts that you just had to sit your tail still. And everybody.
And sometimes you have to.
Yeah, and we was all stuck on the same shift. And so it was like I already had it set in my mind though, like it was okay, but the ones that did, y'all was consistent. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, did in their own way, but y'all were consistent, like, nah, because again, that ain't Sunshine. I'm used to this. Y'all used to me sending y'all stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When that stops, y'all was like, oh no,
Right.
Carla all the time. Look, I know I have it already. What's your address, Shine? The next you know, I got a card in the mail. You know what I'm saying? So
if I got the means, I am not going to let a friend struggle in front of me. Hell no.
No, that can't.
You know
and it's just, when you're going through middle age, you go through so much. Yeah, and you just like, so what do you? So did you get somebody to help you, Shine? I hate you live in another place.
Mm-hmm.
We are, because
and a lot of times we can't take the time to sit here and reach out to somebody and be like, I need help. It's almost like instantaneous, especially for women of color, to just sit here and just try to do it ourselves. She tells me which one? Yeah. she tells me all the time, like, you really don't need to, be in that space. Like, like when I tell you, even when I started the job, I don't know, something was going down. My son's incarcerated. So like, it was, I had a really, really terrible, 3-week period. And like one day she called me like, what's up with you? What is really up with you? Because, we'll message or we'll text or send silly memes or little reels that we see, just to touch base daily or whatever. I do that with a lot of my friends. But when she called me on the phone, on my phone rang, and it say her name, I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. What's wrong with you?
Carla, that's that mama call.
What is wrong with you? And then all I could do was just bust out in tears and be like, life is kicking my ass. Help me. Of course, we pray to God daily. Everyone prays to God. But I'm talking about when you have trusted friends that reach out and really have a true intention.
Yeah, so it's like when the event that I had, like Carla didn't even know. I was like, Carla's card is what made me finally start opening up to y'all about what I was dealing with at that time.
Yeah.
Because she said, you know what? Again, Shine, what's your address? I want to send you something.
I send a card in a minute.
Card, when I tell you,
because that's our era. That's what we do. Sometimes a phone call, sometimes a message, a text ain't enough. It's a call or a card or a little note.
Card, and the situation is right in front of my face. Okay, while I'm reading the card, and man, when I ain't never tell nobody how this happened. When I tell you, Carla, when I read your card, like it was like almost like I didn't go that far though. Almost like that Angela Bassett waiting to exhale moment. It was almost like it was almost like that. And what I mean is, like, how you could just switch up. So it bottled up, like literally I can feel it rolling from my feet. And I'm like, okay, you're affecting my energy so much that someone don't even know what's going on, but they know it's off. So now in turn, like I'm enraged, but at the situation, but like Veep said, at myself, because now it's like, okay, I'm operating other than how I know better than. So it's like all of that emotion was all going at the same time. But then after I went through that, when I tell you those was the first tears that I honestly broke about that, like it broke me down.
Yeah,
like
it's storming like crazy. Sorry.
I love it.
That's how that storm is coming down. Because remember, I told you it just passed through us. That's how I broke down after that. After going through all like that, all within 5 minutes, just like that, it came down. And then Sharita was like, hey, what's going on? Just checking in on you. I told her. I told LV, you know what I'm saying? And I said, look, this is the real reason why I want to do this event. That's why it was a little mo, because it was a little selfish, a play off of my name. But still,
like a little more healing for me.
I need a little more healing. But yeah, at the same time, I'm still operating in myself because I'm sharing it with those that, y'all my people, y'all my tribe. So I'm always out there, and if I know someone else can benefit, because I think Carly, you was the one that said you came to help people get healed, and you got healing yourself. You wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And when
She showed up and showed out.
When you said that, that's exactly what I envisioned and I hope happened. But your card is what started that.
Wow.
That's what started that. So yeah, I just see. I feel. Look, Charles,
thank God, thank Spirit. That's what I said. You know, Spirit. I'll sit down and I'll say, God, who needs a card? And if He slaps somebody on my spirit, I'll be like, "Was that Addie?" And I send it out. That's how it works. Because it's a ministry. My whole family has a card ministry, so I get that from my mom.
Cards mean something. Cards mean something. Remember back when we was young, cards and letters used to mean something, y'all. Remember how we used to fold the letters in school? What? How the letter start? Time, date, who? What I'm thinking about? You.
I doodle on them. Yeah. You know, that's good for your mental health. And y'all know I'm a big coloring book person. I can't draw. I read something that said, she crazy if she got coloring books. Well,
and I felt attacked, but I like to color sometimes.
I got coloring books, but I could draw. I could do upscale drawing. You know, I'm not.
I like to color.
I don't know how to draw, but I could color very well. I could color like a painter paints.
Like I just started painting a little bit. You can't see it; it's too dark. But that's back there. Like I did that. I drew it and then painted. Yeah.
Very good. See, I get stencils and I try to freestyle. My father was an artist. My father could draw you like right in front of your face. He could draw you.
Wow.
See,
it skipped over me, but it's funny. My sister's daughter has the talent. My niece that you see me with a lot. My niece, she's an artist. She's a graphic artist, and she's been selling her paintings and things. And when God gives you to do stuff, that's another thing about being middle-aged. Now we feel compelled because, before we didn't really care about telling people what we were going through and try to help somebody else. But when you get to this particular age, you feel compelled to say, hey, sis, my baby sis, baby bro, listen, I'm trying to keep you from something.
Absolutely.
And I think when you're in your 20s and 30s, you're trying to get through it. But when you get our age, you wanna direct.
It's something about it. It's something about it. Your seasoning. You want to help.
Carla's eyes go like this. Shine. Stop it. And then Sharita, she'll go sunshine. Like they all got that. Like, you behave. Don't do it.
Well, that's Tamika for me. I have looked. Because I act up sometimes. I know y'all will never believe that. But I know y'all will never believe that.
Tell me to stop.
But, and right when I be feeling like I'm about to do something, I ain't got no business, girl, Tamika call me. Or I'll be like, oh, mama. And we need that. We need friends to help us to hold it together. Sometimes I be in here freaking out because I be overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
And that's not true. I'm overwhelmed with working. I hate working a 9 to 5, but we have to because we have to pay our bills. Yeah. I'm finally getting my credit together, but I don't make enough money to move where I want to move to a bigger place. And then I got a 4-year-old in here, and then her mom, she's an adult, but is she really? And then you got, all the things. And at this age, I kind of want to date somebody, I think.
But you don't know if you want to deal with the stress of that.
I'm not, because it's another stress. It's another stress.
Mm-hmm. Be consistent, like Sunshine.
Men are so stressful. To me,
like Sunshine says, consistency. He call and text and be nice for a week, fall off. And I can't rent space in my head about you falling off. But I've gotten somewhat accustomed to the calls.
You know what? When that happens, I don't care. Like,
you still got a little IDGAF in you?
But she got a lot of man energy when it comes to dating. You know how Sean is. Like,
I'm gonna have that regardless, because that's just how
I was like that too. I almost missed out.
Well, I was groomed to have that. I don't.
Yes.
Because if you had an opportunity to talk to my father, I'm born on his birthday. So when everybody got to visit my father, and get to know him over the years of me living in North Carolina, they would always look at me like, "Wow, you look like your mother. You really are like the female version of your father. Like y'all talk the same. Y'all say similar things. Like those punchlines you be saying. I have like my father talk like that, but that's where I get it from. Between him, my uncles, my grandfather, like that's that New York, Jersey thing. So of course it's in me, but life be life is so much that if that happens, like I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? Because I already know I got so much on my plate. And a lot of times I could be really digging the dude too. Like, don't get it twisted. But if it's a strain, it's going to cause more strain. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd rather not drag, you know what I'm saying, nobody do anything like that. There was a friend of mine posted about if a woman was dating a man and she already had kids and he wanted more, but she didn't, would she still date him? And you know how we get in these comments and on these posts. Yeah. Oh yeah, whatever. I don't care. He gonna date me and love my kids, this and that. And I didn't.
You don't have to do that.
I didn't mean to get put out there like that, but I was honest with my response. Like at a moment, when we got reconnected again, when I was at just your Artists for Justice event, like around that time, I was in that moment where I didn't want to deal with no guys that wanted kids. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, I don't even have to deal with nobody at all, really. My sons were small. You know what I'm saying? I was just focused on me, them. I was working so much like crazy and taking all I was focused on. So when guys would try to, get my attention or court me, it's like you would have to be doing something that is just, I don't know.
Outstanding.
Outstanding at that moment because I was so focused. I was in school. I was working as a dialysis technician. Like it was a lot on my plate. So it was like if it wasn't an event that I was doing, I was home studying or I was working, or mommying, So if the dude fell off, you just fell off because I'm back to my regular routine schedule. It didn't mess up nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that plays a bad part too sometimes because
it's all about how much energy you give a thing.
Yeah. But it's our routine. Sometimes we get stuck in our thing and we don't want nobody to infiltrate because we already got control over everything.
So we have
right.
That's what I think. I don't want to relinquish my peace.
A lot of times, sometimes you got to control the situation to get your peace. But I mean,
that was my biggest thing, Carla. Before I got married, I told him he got to beat my peace. I wrote a poem about it.
I know that's
I was single for 3 years. Like I had the last relationship I was in. The last relationship I was in before that was just like, and I was just tired. I was gonna be the cat lady, y'all. I was gonna be a good-looking cat lady. I'm gonna go to animal shelter and get some cats, and just be at the house and go to work and chill. I was just gonna be, and so he rescued me.
If I can interject as far as a male regarding single females, all I can say is in my case, the person that's in my life, I wasn't expecting. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was doing the best at what I was supposed to do. And not only was the exterior what I wanted, but the interior is what I needed.
Woo!
And I'm gonna tell you, don't give up on love if that's what you want.
That's what I'm talking about. People talk your stuff. God
knows your heart down to the minute detail. And if that's what you want, he will give you it because that's what I have. But but it does require you to keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Love will catch you. So I'm a firm believer of that, because I was not looking in that sense.
I wasn't either. I was really enjoying my solitude. I was really enjoying all of that. And, a lot of people be like, you gave up on black men? No, I just didn't give up on love. Right. And that's been manifesting itself for 23 years. And ta-da, So yeah, guys, just be patient. I think a lot of times I wasn't patient because I was still, and I want to say this real quick, and then we got to go to the Blast Artist of the Week. When it comes to relationships, something that I learned, you really got to unpack all of your BS.
Facts.
You got to unpack your BS, deal with yourself, deal with your, you know what I'm saying? Because I realized, I learned in my 3 years of solitude. I moved into my grandfather's house in 2015 as his caretaker, because I was the only, relative with no minor children, and I was unmarried. So it was ideal for me to do that. So I was there for 5 years, right? In that time, I dated a little bit, but a lot of my focus was, my grandchildren, my dad, my grandfather. I was intolerable. I was intolerable. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. My personality sucked. I really had to go in there. I had to really go in there and change some stuff about myself. So when I recovered and got to a place like where Veep said, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing the right thing. I'm not looking. And it boom, it was just right there. And so I just encourage everybody just to dig yourself, continue to build on yourself and your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health. And like he said, God will bring you your treats.
You even have to look at yourself like, would I date me?
That's what I did. And I said, hell no.
I mean, yeah, definitely. That's something you definitely have to ask yourself that.
Am I dateable? Am I attractive enough personality wise? Because looks are fleeting, but when someone has a sweet personality,
what's up with the inner me?
Exactly. Attractiveness, that's gonna fade real fast.
Because if that girl pretty, but she talking too much junk to you, she don't know. And it really takes balance, especially, and I hate the term alpha females. I can't stand the term because it gets thrown around so much. We're not alpha females. We're survival tactics in full formation. You know what I'm saying? Let me be the woman that I need to be. Let me. But we also have to allow ourselves to be the women that we need to be. Right. I was ultimately one of the biggest, kick them to the curb type people, like this, that, and the third. I kick everything to the curb because I would automatically, if something didn't look like what I wanted to look like, I'm shutting it down. I didn't care what it was. And that was based off the fact that I didn't have a really good relationship with my mom because of her mental illness. And, I didn't have really strong relationship with my dads, with my stepfather or my biological father necessarily. But my grandparents were the solidity. But at the same time, I was hurt. I had a lot of stuff going on with me, and I carried that for a long time. Like the song Bag Lady by Erykah Badu. That song made me cry one time because you can hear that song when you're young. But when you get into a certain point in your life and you sitting here, you jam into it, you washing dishes, and you find yourself on the floor crying because she talking about you.
Wow.
That's hardcore. Yeah. And you got to get there and fix that thing right there. We're at a great place. Middle ageism is a great place, guys. We can find out about ourselves, and we have great friends and great people, and of course, God with us to show us the way.
Amen.
Real quick, let's go to the artist of the week. Take it away, Veep.
Let me tell you, this artist has been amazing. He came to the podcast. We have my man Hakeem Romance last Wednesday. We're going to be playing his music again today. It is called Senorita. And this is Hakeem Romance right here on Blast. Check it out.
This is for my bottle ties with a Coke bottle. Into my full figures, I push up on your full throttle, yeah. Baby, stop playing on me. You can get all the work, I even put in OT. I'm on go mode, thought I'd let you know this a land of romance. You super classy, but when you vibing with me, we getting nasty, yeah. Never trashy, I'ma dive in it, lick it, slide in it, yeah. That's what I like, only for the night side. I'ma need you a few more times. Had to keep it real, you know the drill. Now bring that ass here. Shit. Girl, we got all night, quit playing. Let's do what we came to do. Cause you know what I need from you. Oh baby, and girl, mamacita, señorita, let me freak ya. From the club to the crib, I'ma show you what it is. I done one. My drip up on the mill, tell your mama chill. She out and ready and steady, might just get to it. I'ma have to tell her, give me 6 feet. She acting big, just the swag all up on me. Hey, Miss Jackson, what you want? Be aware, I'ma show you I'm full grown. I know you here for a good time, not a long time, but listen, can we make it both? You got what I need, I got what you want. Understand what the vibe is. You looking like you ready to go. You ain't got dressed up to the night. So dangerous, you out of line.
Look, ma'am, you knew exactly what you were doing when you put that on.
Girl, we got all night, quit playing. Let's do what we came to do. Cause you know what I need from you. Oh baby, and girl, mamacita, señorita, let me break ya. From the club to the crib, I'ma show you what it is. I done one. You got my undivided attention, so is any lady. I saw you from across the room and I was just wondering maybe if you'd like to take a tour of the crib. You can bring your friend too. Hey, listen, I'd like to show you things. I can have you pulling up in the Benz or a photo range. Cause I can show you the world. Take my hand, let's explore. Yeah, I'm like we're playing. Let's do what we came to do. Cause you know what I need from you. Oh baby, and girl, mamacita, señorita, let me break ya. From the club to the crib, I'ma show you what it is. I've done one.
Heading that way.
That is our boy Hakeem Romance, and that was Senorita. And if you are an artist or even an up-and-coming comedian or spoken word poet that would like some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. That's blastmusic247.com, changing the industry one artist at a time.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, guys. I want to address the fact that middle-aged people have been living life so long with the stresses that we mentioned that they may not feel like it's necessary to go and talk to someone or even address their mental health. Can y'all give some insight into that as far as what you would tell someone about? Like if they keep coming to you with the same type issue and you know that they probably need some help, what do you say to your friend? What do you say to your lover, your sister, your brother? What do you say?
I lost a friend over there because I told a friend they need therapy and I'm not the therapist. You know, and I mean, I can listen, you know, about things and there's, you know, of course I'm going to be there. But when I'm telling you stuff and you don't take any of my advice and you still come to me with, baby, you need to go see a therapist.
Because we have boundaries, right? We have to set some boundaries, even emotional boundaries. Like hypothetically, me and Sunshine, we had stuff hitting at the same time. Like maybe someday I can't just call her and just dump. I have to say, hey, Sunshine, I need to talk about some stuff. Are you available today? You know what I'm saying?
What if I ask you what's wrong?
Be kind enough. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, be kind enough to ask somebody, do you have a moment of your time?
You know, there's some fools out here that say that just because it sounds good.
Oh yeah, that's true.
When they say
but that's where your intuition comes in.
But no, what I'm saying
intuition.
is no. A lot of times it doesn't. Like, and when they say, "Well, what's wrong?" You know, like,
What's up, Soul Riz?
and then the person goes, "Oh, okay. Well, this is really what it is." Like an AK-47, or it just let it rip.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them a fool, but then the other person, because you really didn't mean it. That's why I'm calling them foolish. I ain't gonna say a fool; they foolish. Being foolish when they ask that question, because if you really didn't mean it and that person just sat there and poured their heart out, and then your responses, and no, this didn't happen to me. I had someone this literally happened to, and then they called me, and they like, yeah, and they was like, oh well, I ain't asked you for all of that. Then why did you?
So what did you call for?
Wrong?
And I've had somebody tell me, well, sometimes you should just listen. Now you asked me how I feel about parenting, and I done parented 4 kids and doing grandkids, but I didn't expect you to just, okay.
Well, what did you expect?
So the person was expecting you to be honest.
But then you should have said, I just need you to listen. Leave with that
part.
No,
seriously.
That you hit her with some honesty and she wasn't ready for it.
No, this was a man. This wasn't a she. This was a he. But yeah. And I think what really upsets me is a lot of the brothers that are our age. They really feel that smoking weed and drinking is their therapy.
No, baby. What you're doing is messing with your hormones. Is what you're doing.
Jesus did pay it all, but he wants you to go to the therapist. He wants you to go.
Absolutely.
So does Muhammad or whomever else. Because you can't, stop letting people tell you, and it's I don't know, and if I feel about it, I just do. It's the church folks that's the worst. They always try to make you think that God can fix anything, but sometimes God fixing stuff if you going to the therapist.
Faith without works is dead. He produces resources out here.
Why is it so hard for people to understand that going to a therapist is just like cleaning your kitchen or your bathroom? Right?
Or look, even like with somebody like me, I got diabetes. If I don't take my sugar pill, I'm gonna have a problem, right? If I continue to eat Little Debbie's, I'm gonna have a problem. Right. So mental health is just like taking care of your cardiovascular health, your endocrine system, just like taking care of your body, taking a shower. You know what I'm saying? Like mental health is a really big deal. Now. If you lose your mind, you ain't got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my mother, she's 70 years old and she's been dealing with mental illness since I was 4. I'm 46. And now, like, I've never seen anything like it, but I value my mental health. My mother lost bits. I want to say she had her first breakdown. She's like 37.
Wow.
Okay. And so, like, I'm real big on it. You absolutely have to maintain your sanity. And given that I'm at this age and it's critical for me in that regard, yeah, you got to definitely wrap your head around that. Especially our men of all races, they got to wrap their head around it because they're the leaders.
Black men, because they have been taught that they are supposed to be strong and deal with stuff. They're not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to show their emotions unless they're being angry. There's nothing wrong with black men showing their anger. That's fine.
That part.
Because that's what people are used to them doing. But the crying, them actually, for lack of a better word, begging for things to work. And, some people, he always begging me, but that's not him begging you. That's him communicating. And I think
you better be glad he's telling you something.
Black women, we're not used to black men who communicate well.
With your point of view, because your communication is superb. So rest, brother, your communication is superb too. So but
absolutely, it is everything because it's the make or break.
Don't get
that. and I need that. See, because I was married to a Taurus who wanted me to read his mind.
Mm-mm. No.
I know my fellow Torians be giving y'all hell. I apologize.
I was like, yo,
She's the representative of that of that delegation. Apologize formally.
Cause shout out to my one, like he was my first best friend when I moved down here from Jersey. Ron, we call that's spoke.
Oh, Mr. Lavender.
And no, not him.
Oh.
This is that's Lavender. This one's Ronald Terry.
Oh, okay.
He's younger than me, and like he's from North Carolina. He's from High Point, and we met at the hospital when I was working when it was Moses Cone back then. But he was real cool, you know what I'm saying. But today is his birthday, and I tell him sorry, spoke. You know, it's all love here. We tell the truth, but emotional, and then want you to pull teeth, and it's
and I'm not doing it.
and it's
I'm
just
not doing it.
something about the male May Tauruses, because my baby boy is 1. His birthday was the 11th, and this is why I talk with him so much and let him know that he can speak to me. But I can tell when he's reserved and he won't, because then he's been, and this is no shot at his father, but he's been around his father, and his father will tell him to do something and not, say nothing to me, like handle it in his own way. But I can physically watch my child like trying to deal with doing what he knows is comfortable for him versus what his father is telling him he should do because he's a man. You know what I'm saying? And
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like a classic example, like I appreciated all of the brothers that told them this, but my babies ain't never got to be strong for me. I'm their mother. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? But a lot of men were saying when my father passed, be strong for your mother. No.
Be strong for you, young man.
Right.
They had a whole different relationship like that.
And that's a lot to lay on a kid.
Yeah, that grandma title just does something, to a child that's different from mommy and daddy.
I'm still getting over my granddaddy died, and it's been 30-something years. What do you mean?
Girl,
it's just like it just holds a different kind of weight. But when I had left from the hospital, from the nursing home, and got back to where the boys were when they had left, I got there and I sat down, talked to them straight up, and Isham just stood there, and I could see him fighting the tears, and he was like physically causing himself to go through. And I said, stop that, let it go, it's okay. So as I said that, he broke. I mean, broke. And he also broke for his grandmother. His father. Remember last year they was at football. We had to leave from Tennessee to rush to Greensboro. So he never really grieved or got closure for that. And I couldn't control that because that wasn't my mother. His father was supposed to assist him and provide that closure. But he was not handling it well either. So instead of him not wanting to go to counseling, it's like, look, I have to talk to you like this because you ain't gonna go talk to nobody. You won't even talk to the older brother. I have your son. If you're not right in the head right now, your son can't come around you.
Right. That's true.
Don't think, I don't want Shorty thinking that it's because it's never been anything outside of our son.
Right.
And I just got to make sure you're right. Because if you're not right, then you can't pour into him like you're supposed to.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he kind of started to see more because we a tribe regardless. We got a child together. And he honestly, when you look at somebody and they lost and they really don't know what to do, like I never saw him look like that until that moment. It's nothing to brag about, but I done been through this so many times that I just know what to do. You get what I'm saying? I just know how to step in. I just know how to fill in because I've experienced it personally, real close, so many times. There was never really no one to sit there and carry me through it. I had to figure it all out on my own until Carla said, eventually I went to counseling. And shout out to the counselor that I had in Woodbridge, New Jersey, because he reminded me of Honest John and Kenny Rogers, and he was cool.
No.
he just had this welcoming spirit and this face. You know, the brothers and the lady that sang that Skinamarink song, like he smiled like them.
Not the Skinamarink.
That wouldn't work for me, honey.
It wasn't like the fake one. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell he was very empathetic. Versus the other ones that I went through because of my daughter's situation, it was all over the news and in the newspapers. It was, oh, I thought I recognized you. Immediately went to the paper and started writing medicine for me to take.
Wow.
Not even, I literally had a man cross his legs and not look at me the whole time I was speaking to him.
And let's talk about that. These therapists, when you get a therapist who doesn't meet your needs, because a lot of people will, because like me, when the first time I actually really went to therapy is when I got separated from my ex-husband, now ex-husband. But I went, and the very first therapist, she was terrible. I went to her a time or two, and you know how they match you with somebody. And I was like, how did they match you with this lady? She was an older, you could tell, very well-off New York Jewish lady with money. And she was talking to me like
this.
She was talking at you. She wasn't talking to you.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like I was a specimen under the glass or something. Like we did not
vibe
at all.
At all. Like that. It was such a breath of fresh air. It was nuts. I went through 3 of them like that. 3.
Yeah, you got to find a fit.
To the point that
that's what I want to tell people on this. Don't stop. If you get a therapist that doesn't meet your needs, just like with a regular doctor or trying on shoes or anything else,
or even
find
dating,
the one that fits you. You know, find the one that fits.
That part, Sharita.
He was also too, because you know he grew up in the hippie era.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know, and I don't know.
Understood. No, he just understood and knew how to bring people out of that. Like well,
that's good.
And he made it known. Like, I can pick it out. I know if you can. I know if you don't. And I know if you do. And I can tell which you partake in. Like, he broke it down, all of that in the beginning. So you really knew who you was dealing with. Like, you're going to have to come clean in here if you really want me to do my job thoroughly. And that right there was dope, because I thought I was about to go in there and lay the law down, like tell you what I'm not about to deal with, because these last 3 that I just already experienced was hell.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And you know, one thing, Sharita, about being middle-aged that I think a lot of people don't want to admit, and this is my dilemma, I am at the age where I don't want to be fake.
Right. I can't do it no more.
About the rap, yeah.
Not for nobody. And
so, like, I that's another reason why dating has not been a priority with me, because you know, when you first start dating somebody, you gotta.
Can we talk about that real quick? We might go over just a minute, Troy. We might just go over just a minute, but that right there, like when we was dating when we was young, we was dating for the physical, we was dating for the.
I can't do it.
Right? And look, like now, it's way much more at stake, because my time is a commodity. Right. My time is a commodity. My energy is a commodity. I done worked my job. I done dealt with these kids. I done dealt with these people. And you want me to come out my house after I done came home from work and took a shower, took my bra off, and come outside and see you? Come on, man.
And you got to go outside because you don't want them to come to your house and see your house look a mess. because your soul is,
you just can't trust them. And then I done learned about the homosexuals. You let them come to your house enough, and then they end up spending the night, and they leave a pair of drawers or leave a outfit. Next thing you know, they outfit is in your laundry, and next thing you know, they want to do the laundry. Like, oh, he's so sweet, do the laundry, and then next thing you know, he done sit here and put food in your refrigerator because he want to cook for you. Oh, girl, he cooked for me. Next thing you know, he live in your house.
No, ma'am.
Wait, when did he bring?
I ain't had that happen.
Oh no, that's extreme. That's extreme. That's what the young girls were telling me about, girl. That's the young girls were telling me about.
He come in with a book bag.
He come with a book bag.
I just want to be around people I can be me with. You know, sometimes I'm happy, but sometimes I'm not. Like today, I cried a lot. I don't know. I think it's the weather. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes when the rain is coming and stuff, it makes you feel weepy.
And you don't want to be around people like, what you crying for? Stop crying. How about ask me why I'm crying?
She's always meditating and working on herself. And I always remind her that she be going through those essential purging. Every time you ascend up, it affects
essential purging. I like that term.
Any time you go somewhere and they can't tell you why something is physically happening to you, that is a spiritual thing that a doctor, no hospital, or nobody can do for you.
Right. That's true.
Because you go somewhere and I don't know what's wrong. I done did this, I done did that, and they can't tell me what's wrong. You purging, boo. That's what it is. And your body is like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, that's me definitely with this whole me going to the hospital a few weeks ago and
and it'll give you a reality check. Like I need to really. My.
I said, wait a minute. I was right in her inbox, like, and they can't what? They can't find out what's wrong. Oh, I know what this is now. I said, you work.
Sunshine went through it earlier this year. Was it last year? Whenever you couldn't figure out what was wrong with you, and you just going through physically. Yeah, but you just needed to purge.
It was in October. That was.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah.
Because the
I got to tell y'all some crazy stuff behind the scenes. Like my body just really been on one, and I'm like, okay, listen, look, you know how you be like, baby, what's wrong with me? Why I'm losing weight?
Huh? Yeah, because that's what it was. And then I messed around and caught both strands of the flu, and that was right behind.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I was down 10 days and really the last 5 days locked myself in the isolation room at work. I really wasn't supposed to be there, but I couldn't afford to be out of work for 3 weeks.
That's what I mean by being middle-aged. We got to make and pick and choose. Make and pick and choose these choices.
But
I'm about to open up me a strip joint for older age women. Call it Bubble Guts and Tiger Stripes.
Bubble Guts and Tiger Stripes.
You gonna have them? You gonna have them power flush toilets like they have at the Circle K?
Girl. We gonna close it.
I lost my keys. Look, I lost my keys in one of them toilets. The keys snatched right out my pocket. I turned around to get some. I hover over the toilet paper, over the toilet, and I reach around for the toilet paper, and then snatch my damn keys right out my pocket.
Oh no, we can't have
it was on a lanyard. It's like whoosh.
Dad, did it take your pants too a little bit?
Girl, no, I'm telling you, it took my lanyard. I had a Duke lanyard, and the keys was.
But it didn't tug at the pants too. That it was.
No, I had a jacket on, and my keys was in my jacket, and I turned to get the toilet paper, and I guess because they got the sensor, so once the shadow went off of the sensor, it just flushed.
Damn.
Just imagine if it was you.
Now, look, that is crazy.
Tables, I'm trying to tell you. Look, you might as well say, look. I ain't going by Sunshine because I done told folks I done named my stretch marks. I got LaGuardia, I got
LaGuardia.
You got a stretch mark named LaGuardia, girl.
Yeah. Look, LAX. I got Route 109.
You got them named by airports.
I got
That's hilarious.
She got. What's the RDU? Charlotte Douglas.
What is it? CLT?
I wouldn't have any stretch marks. That's the weird thing. All my stretch marks are on my stomach.
Now they want to roll us like dough with them little rolling pins. Y'all see what they got out here? Like what's
Girl,
really?
don't talk about it. I mean, I done had multiple C-sections, so it's just a whole mess. It's a mess. What that man say on campaign? It's a mess. Y'all, that's one of my favorite moves. That Galifianakis.
Oh my gosh. Look, we might have to come back to middle age and mental health again. There's so many topics that we have to double back on.
I always, to combat all of that, remember when we talk about the favorite shows and stuff, now I will indulge in my actions, you know, thanks to the fellas of Blast. They done turned me on the Citadel. I done started something else.
Watch that yet.
Crazy. When I say it's crazy, man, but I'm still I'm still number one for Night Agent. I don't care. I watch Night Agent straight through in one day.
I've only watched one episode. Y'all, guess what I've been watching? Sweet Tooth. See, I watch stuff like
I don't know none of these titles y'all talking about. I'm still waiting for Power to come on Friday, y'all.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth. It's so good. It's about the hybrid kids in the future.
I don't know.
Y'all, it's good.
Look, my husband just turned me on to even watching TV. I used to be music and writing and listening to music. I didn't own a TV or nothing until he came around.
If it wasn't action, something like that, it's comedy. When I come home,
you could have
like,
been into the home.
All of that, like I'm getting a little frustrated now with Netflix and Hulu and all of them, is because they really don't have the comedy stuff on anymore. Like I don't look through everybody already.
So check this out real quick, guys. We got a wrap. You know, we get excited whenever we come together and talk about common things, but of course we have our show is confined to 1 hour. Let me recap real quick. So we've been talking about middle-agedom and mental health. Sophia said you can't. Hold on. Yes, Carla, Sweet Tooth is good.
Ain't it good,
oh Lord.
Girl?
Listen, we didn't. Let's talk. We can need to drop some of these shows in the comments for our folks at home to be able to enjoy these shows, and maybe we can just dedicate a show to talking about sitcoms one day. We can talk about anything in Middle Age Podcast.
For sure.
Middle age.
Absolutely. We have been talking about middle-agedom and mental health today. Please go and check out Blast Blast Music 24/7 on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Definitely. If you need to get some assistance with your mental health, reach out to your local agencies, or even go online. They have something called betterhealth.com.
I love it.
Where you can actually
definitely is Miss Sophia.
Hold on, I got the flowers driving across my face. I had to move my flowers, but yes, definitely make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because health is wealth. Everybody, health is wealth.
It is.
Health
is wealth.
Happy Mother's Day to them, because you know you didn't do the show last week, so happy Mother's Day.
Yes, thank you.
Mother's Day, ladies.
Yes,
definitely tune in next Tuesday. Tune in next Tuesday to the MiddlePage Podcast, and we might actually just continue this particular topic because we had so much fun with it and have so much input and information for the people.
It was a nice session.
That's right.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming in such short notice. Martin probably will try to be back next week, and even if he is, I would love to have you back on. If you're not in a prior engagement.
Okay. Sure.
I appreciate Martin for trying to give me a threesome, but this is not what I meant. But
shouts out to Martin and Livewire Entertainment in South Carolina.
Hey, I tried to find him on YouTube and couldn't find him. I meant to say that. I got to inbox him. I'm like, sir, I couldn't find him.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.